Welcome back to another episode of Enthusiastically Spiritual. I'm your host, Teresa. As a soul in a physical body, the journeys we have are wild and wonderful. They're full of experiences for our soul's growth. But some of those experiences can leave us traumatized, deflated, and feeling hopeless. I know for myself along my path, I've connected with others who have helped support me through the ups and downs of my journey. So today I am honored to have a guest who understands the challenges we sometimes face and has found supportive ways for herself that she passes on to others for support. Her name is Petia Kolibova, and she is a women's transformational coach who helps women who've been pushed down and been playing it small due to toxic relationships or unhealed childhood trauma to help create a life that is true to them and their soul's purpose. Her mission is to help women who are on the path to healing from past wounds move through their limited beliefs and internal blocks so they can finally do what they want to do, what feels good to them, and what serves other women in a powerful way online. Petia pairs feminine flow with strategic planning to give entrepreneurs immense clarity and exact steps to transition from side hustler to CEO. Who doesn't love that? If she's not interviewing on her amazing podcast, Unapologetically Abundant, working out or reading, you will find her in nature, disconnecting from the world and connecting to herself. Welcome, Petia.
I am so excited to be here today. And I love the little plugins that you did into the bio. It's amazing. I love how you're bringing your energy and personality.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm excited you're here, and let's get into this because we need to talk about authentically showing up and not holding back. And I know for myself, that's been a big thing of moving where I'm at now and moving forward. So to assist women in doing this is profound. So let's talk about how you work with that and how you support others.
Such a beautiful question, because the thing is that when we are born and raised, we are born and like very free, very authentic. We don't care what other people think, like we are running with, poop in our pants and we don't care. And then as we are growing up, we are conditioned to care what other people think and being afraid to be abandoned or judged or fail. So I see so many people around me that are afraid to stand up for their dreams because they're wondering, what if other people will judge me? What if they will abandon me? What if I fail? What if I end up on a street and with nothing, right? And these fears keep coming up, but those are not our basic fears, right? These are fears that we have learned from others. And I was one of those people who was really afraid, afraid what will people think, afraid that I'm unlovable and unworthy. And I had to overcome that because I realized that no matter how much I was working hard and people pleasing others, I wasn't fulfilled. No matter how much I was achieving, like you took the list of achievements, I would be like, check, check, check. And I'm like, is this it? I'm still not feeling happy. Like, again, turning it against us, right? Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me that I'm not happy with all the achievements that I'm experiencing? And that's when I started to look in, what am I really doing? What doesn't feel right? And I started to discover my patterns, like saying yes when I want to say no, going to the places when I really want to be resting and being by myself. And I started to create like a healthy boundaries, and I started to do more that was right for me. And that comes with, uncomfort, not only for us, but also for others. If we were used to people please and people will used to that, we do everything, whatever we want, whether it's our family, friends, or clients, or, coworkers or bosses, they're used to say something. We're like, oh yeah, let me do it. Let me go for it. I don't need the life. I don't need the weekends off. Like, let me just go. And so sometimes when we're growing, it's painful because people are leaving, people are judging us. But what I feel it's even more painful, it's living in inauthentic, living in a life that it's really not true to you. And what I learned on my journey and my business, my personal life and my business, when I became unapologetically me, like, this is me, you either take it or you leave it. that's when the true fulfillment and abundance and fun and joy along the journey really came. So being authentic and being unapologetic, it's what I really stand for.
I can feel that in my heart, and that feels so good because that is such a big thing, especially in the world we live in. And one thing I
Yeah.
like to tap into is the unique journeys we all have. So I'm in the belief that, you're on your journey, I'm on my journey, and no one knows what our journeys are because they're unique to us. And every soul on the planet is unique to their own journeys. So share a little bit about your unique journey and how you arrived at this place of being unapologetic and authentic.
I love that question, because it's so easy to look at people where they are, right? Like it's so easy, like to see, like, okay, she has her own TV show and podcast and just marry the love of her life and build a 6-figure online coaching business, working 2 days a week and doing what she really loves. Like, oh, good for her, right? But people don't see the gap. People don't see that I'm coming from very small town in Czech Republic where my mom got remarried when I was 2 years old. And my stepfather was mentally and physically abusive. And my brother, the male, could do whatever he wants. And I have to obey and just do whatever I'm told to do. And I felt unlovable and undeserving. And that led into not only toxic relationships later in my teenage age and almost until when I was 30, but it also led into 2 decades of eating disorder and harming my body, like cutting my hands because I felt so much pain inside of me that I needed to go out. And it was just living in this, just like a pain and darkness. And I didn't want to live. So when I was 18, I even attempted for suicide because I was thinking to myself, if this is it, I don't want to live it. So that has been my journey. And I kept running away from myself and from the pain. And I went from Czech Republic to London to Spain. Then I lived 11 years in the United States. Now last month, we just moved with my husband to Tulum in Mexico, but now I'm doing it because I'm inspired to, not because I am running from myself and from pain and discomfort. But I used to be running because I was thinking, if I change my hair, if I change my body, if I change my clothes, if I change my relationship, if I change the place I live, like continents, right? Like forget moving from state to state. It's like changing the continents. Then I will be happy. And I realized that was just a wasteful wish, really, because wherever you go, you take yourself with you. And we have to remember that. I had many women who come to me and they're like, I hate the job that I'm in and I'm feeling stuck and unfulfilled and I want to change. And when I change, because this is suffocating me, it will change. No, it won't. Because you take yourself with you. And I've done it. I was fired 6 years ago from my corporate, started my own social media marketing agency. I had it for a couple of years and I was attracting clients who didn't appreciate me, who didn't trust me, who I have to be pushing and pursuing and like, hey, your payment is due, right? And chasing people. And it was because I didn't change how I feel about myself. If you're
Yes.
feeling unworthy and undeserving, nothing in the world will help you. Not bigger paying salary, not better, bigger husband, bigger house, bigger, it won't. Like change how you're feeling about yourself. And then the things in your life will change. I love this quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that was my mantra when I was in a corporate and leaving and starting my own business. Like I had to be shifting, how am I feeling? That's where you get to start.
It all starts with you, the soul inside of you, and having that drive, which, I think about because I grew up with an alcoholic family, like my grandfather, my dad, eventually my brother. Yeah, it like was consistent with really a lot of my family, actually on both sides, maternal and paternal. But when I came in as a soul, I've had this drive. And I mean, I can feel that in you. So even though we go through all these, abuse, or we go through alcoholism or whatever it is, it looks like, for our journeys to wherever we get to eventually, it's like that having that inner soul drive is so powerful. And it's tapping into that energy, which can help shift things at the right timing. Because I know for myself, I mean, I didn't come into my spiritual work till my late 30s when I went to massage therapy school. And I believe that everything up until that moment was just part of the plan. When I look back at it, it was part of the puzzle, putting it together. I had to really go through things to get to where I needed to be. Do you feel the same with your journey?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because when I look back, there's nothing I would change. Like there is along my journey, I know I heard my grandma, I heard my family as I was discovering who I am and what I get to do. There were some things that I wish like I wouldn't hurt her, but I wouldn't change anything about my journey, right? Because it helped me to be who I am today. And thanks to all of that pain, I'm so loving, so nurturing, so compassionate. I know my purpose now, and it's so clear to me. And I wouldn't be who I am without all of that. With that said, I also really want to like share how I feel about people say like you have to go through really get on your knees and having these like rock bottom experience. I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes us more relatable, but those who are listening, I don't want you to go on the like rock bottom and be homeless and be abused and be like whatever, right? It can be like rock bottom fear for you. I truly believe that no matter where you are in your life, you can turn around and say no more. I'm not going to settle. And it doesn't have to be that bad. Like I'm married for the second time now. In my first husband, he was narcissistic. And so what you would see on the outside, it's not what I was experiencing behind a closed door.
Mm-hmm.
And he made me always feel like there's something wrong with me and I am ungrateful. He was like, well, I'm not beating you up, I'm not gambling, I'm not drinking, so what are you complaining about? That he's cheating on me and speaking with other women and like all these things and giving me silence treatment, and it's just like so much there. So trust yourself and say no more, no more settling. Like there is so much more for you when you allow it. And when you say no more, wherever you are, there is something even better for you. I promise.
And back to your unapologetic. So, and that's a big thing with the journeys we've been on. And like you said, I totally agree too. You don't have to go through 5 dark nights of the soul. And whatever it looks like for you, it might look totally different for someone else. And, it seems to me like in a lot of the spiritual communities, it's about that. Like, oh, what did you go through? And what is the depths and all this, stuff, which I mean, we all go through things, but being okay with knowing that that was part of my journey. And that was part of I needed to experience. And whether or not it was the darkest, deepest, down in the dirt, night of the soul, or if it was like it was a little bit lighter than that, it's okay. But being back to your word, unapologetic, that is key, because people move into this, I'm a victim, and I'm always being perpetrated on. And again, that goes back to what they're feeling inside. But the story behind the journey doesn't have to be right here in the front of who you are, because we are a beautiful soul. We are here to learn and grow. We've got a team of guidance. We're here to really have the best experiences we can have as we move through the ups, downs, and the sideward, journeys that we all experience.
Absolutely, and that also brings in like this compassion, right? Like right now, what is happening in the world is, let's say, fascinating and extraordinary. And there is so much division and so much judgment, whether you're on the left, whether you're on the right, right? Like comparing and saying like, I am better and you don't know what you're talking about, like both of the sides. So coming to this understanding of like, you're on your journey and your soul chosen this, whatever you are choosing, right? Your soul needed to experience it. It helps us to like soften up and smoothen, instead of like, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm smart, you're silly, right? It's like, okay, this is what I am choosing that feels right to me. And whatever you are choosing, it's part of your path. And we have to see it this way, like you said, like some people go through, like some of my clients, they go through so much abuse when they were little kids. I'm like, how is that even humanly possible that a human being would do anything like this to a kid? Like I am in awe with some of the traumas. And some of the traumas of my clients are like hey, my parents were busy and I felt unheard and unseen. And we went to Costco and they left me there and I felt abandoned. Right? But it's
Right.
not more or less. It's experiencing distress and trauma and emotional turmoil. And it marked you, right? And
Right.
it built you and molded you into who you are today. So going back into being unapologetic, but from a place that it's respectful. If I say I'm unapologetic, it's not because I don't care about you, but because I care so much. And if I'm wasting my energy proving myself to others, like, hey, see me, watch me, I am right, then I don't have energy for the people who are ready to work with me, to come with me. Whether you work with me or you just listen to my podcast or watch my Instagram stories, like I am daily there inspiring you. Besides weekends, I'm off. I'm like,
Good on you.
I'm like complete off. Like Saturdays, my clients, I always tell them like, hey, on Saturdays, you call 911. Don't try to find me. I'm off the grid, you know?
That is wonderful.
Again, being unapologetic.
Yeah.
I was always thinking like, I have to be there for my clients and 24/7 and 7 days a week. And what am I telling them then?
Right.
You know how inspired are women when I tell them I work 2 days a week. One day I have 4 recordings, whether it's on my podcast or being on summits or other podcasts. And the rest, I take care of me and I do whatever I want, because they hear on, okay, she works 2 days a week versus she's working 7 days a week and she's hustling and working hard. My women don't want that. They've been there and done that. So what example you're setting? Because whether you like it or not, you are setting an example.
Right. And it could be for your children. It could be for the loved ones around you, friends, etc. And like you said, also with being, taking off the weekends, like I work from my home too. And so a lot of times I'm like, my God, when was the last time I took a day off? Because it can be nonstop. And there's so many people these days working from home. And so taking that time off and being, inspired to go outside or go do something for yourself is a big thing. So what I like about you, Petia, is you really walk your talk. Like whatever you're sharing in the role with your clients, you are doing it. And that is a true way shower in the world. So I really honor that. I honor that in you. That's beautiful. And I have chills as I say that, because it's really a big thing. We have to walk our talk and be authentic in order to really help others on their journeys. So let's share about how do you share, what's some of the support you offer your clients?
So I am a person who believes in doing things that really light us up. And I try many different things. And, I try membership groups and whatever would really, really lights me up. And what I love is doing one-on-one work. So I work with my clients on one-on-one basis. And I also have programs for like VIP days, VIP weekends when my clients come now to Mexico. So not a bad place to meet, for VIP days or weekends to spend intensive time with me, or I host the retreats, because I truly believe, listen, Zoom, it's amazing. And I'm so thankful for it. Thanks to that, I have clients, in Europe, Australia, Singapore, that sometimes it's a little bit more challenging to meet in person. But that's what really lights me up. That's what really makes me feel on purpose. When I'm working long-term with my clients and I see them rise and stepping into their purpose and, shedding all those old fears and doubts when they were like not living life that it's really true to them, and seeing them, it's like blooming. You can tell, like you look at the person and you can tell. Doesn't matter what they say or how they look, but you can feel the energy. You can really tell like how aligned they are with who they really are. And seeing women aligning, oh, that's priceless.
Without a doubt. So you obviously have a website and you have an event coming up in Tulum. Is that correct? Is that the area you're doing it in? Yes, in Tulum.
Yes, when it's in November. So when this is launching, I'm 2 days away from our sold out retreat, but the next one it's January. And I love the like aligned numbers. So it's going to be January 11th. So 1/11/22. And each of our retreats is always going into depth, helping you align with your purpose, who you really are, abundance. We do like healing inner child, and I am NLP practitioner, Reiki practitioner, Qigong practitioner, breathwork practitioner, like all of these beautiful modalities, that we bring in. And I do sound body healing. It's really about aligning you with your true vibration, true purpose. And then we always sprinkle it with would we feel that it's the most needed and accurate for the moment.
That's wonderful. So yeah, you put it together with what spirit said is the divine thing to work with right now with the group that's coming.
Yes. Exactly, because
Beautiful.
I had a couple who wants to come in January, and they're like, so what's the program? I was like, I don't know. I will download it when we come closer too, because you can be planning however you want, especially in these days and times, and life will plan a little bit differently. So being flexible, it's so important these days, and really trusting that everything you need comes to you at the perfect time.
Beautiful. And I want to finish this episode with a quote that you have on your website. By sharing my light, I'm authentically showing up as myself, empowered to shine my own light from within while inspiring others to do the same. Beautiful,
Thank you.
Petia.
Thank you. And like you said, it's really about walking your talk and for allowing other people to live the life that is true to them by being the example, by being the inspiration.
Without a doubt. Thank you so much for coming on today. And all my listeners, I will have all of her information in the show notes. So you can get a hold of Petia and go down to Tulum and have an amazing experience in January. Ooh, I got chills on that. That sounds wonderful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And not just today, what an honor to be here, but also your work. It's so beautiful and so needed.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. And remember to enjoy each moment because life is too short to not be enthusiastic about your unique journey.